Hi Gemini, welcome back. Gemini, this is going to be a reading for mid-October. Quick check-in to see how the energies are going for you. And so thank you for joining me. It's general, not going to resonate with all of you. If you're new to me, welcome. If you're returning, thank you. And so let's get started. For my Geminis, what is the overall energy for this time period? So this will be mid-October. Whoa. Mid-October to end of November-ish. All right, so the card that came out for you, Gemini, was the 7th house of relating. All right, so this card talks about relationships, companionships, partnerships, friends, marriages, It talks about finding equilibrium within those dynamics, so I think that's going to be a heavy focus for you for the next 2 weeks. It also talks about, coming together, justice, balance, and sometimes on the negative side, it can be a bit of like an opposing type of energy. So I think that, that sector of your life, your relationships, the people you keep surrounded, by you, partnerships, that's all going to be highlighted during this time frame, okay? So Gemini, let's see what else you can expect and go a little bit deeper into the energy here. So you have the 6 of Pentacles. That talks about, being generous with your time and energy, but getting it back in an equal amount, okay? So let's go back to the 7th house of relating. That's giving and receiving, whether that's been lacking in the past or it's just being highlighted. I feel like there's a lot of reciprocating energy here, Gemini. So I do feel that you're going to be surrounded by people that want to reciprocate that of which you give, which is great, which is awesome. And you've been needing that, right? Then you have the Fool card. So some new beginnings here. And this also talks about not being naive. I don't think Gemini is a naive sign, but I think that sometimes the sign of Gemini can be quick to like jump to conclusions or jump the gun, things like that. And so there is a caution here during this time frame about needing to look at who you're giving your time and energy to, and not being naive and expecting someone to reciprocate if they haven't in the past. So 2 different energies here. It's all about discernment, Gemini, allowing people in your life that are going to give back to you, and then also not being naive with those who constantly take, but they don't give. You know what I'm saying? And I think like this time period is like a step back where you're looking at those dynamics in your life and figuring out like, what do I get out of this interaction? What do I get out of this partnership? And what am I giving in this partnership? Because some of you are the one that might be taking. The energy can always go vice versa. So it's just something to be mindful of, okay? And then the World card. So wrapping up cycles, wrapping up chapters makes sense here with the Fool. Things coming things coming full circle. So I feel like that also talks to me about karma, what goes around comes around type energy, right? So I think things are going to be coming to a full circle. That could be good or bad depending on how your behavior has been, of course. But I feel like there's a lot of positive energy out. So I feel for most of you, it's in a good way of like, you know what, I gave you all that I had, and now it's this time period where it's your turn to receive. Do you know what I'm saying? So I like that. Followed by the Ace of Pentacles. Nice. So Gemini, new opportunities for commitment here, and or you might be having some new opportunities in the career sector, your hobbies, money, things like that, okay? So I love that energy. You have a new beginning and new opportunities coming your way. And then the 9 of Cups, emotional satisfaction. Oh, it's good to be a Gemini during these next 2 weeks. It's for real. The 9 of Cups is like knowing your worth, knowing what you deserve. I feel like too, Gemini, you're kind of taking this back seat as the observer during these next 2 weeks. I feel like Gemini as an energy is usually the one who is like pushing things forward, or the person that's leading or partaking. And this time frame, I feel like you're going to kind of take a step back from that. Let the energy come to you. Be more of the observer. You know what I'm saying? So 9 of Wands here. That's where that energy is coming from. I feel that, you know, there might be someone here that's seeing you do good, look good, feel good, and they're a little skeptical, you know, or maybe distant from you during this time period, whether physically distant or emotionally distant. It's an interesting energy to get. And even though I'm only pulling yours, I feel like this is so out of place that it's someone else showing up, but could be you distancing yourself from people who don't want to or can't reciprocate or invest. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of you too will be taking good care of your health, or that's highlighted during this time, okay? Yeah, 2 of Swords. I wanted to know what the 9 of Wands was about. So I feel that this is the energy I was talking about, where you're using discernment, because I feel like you're ready for new beginnings. You have a lot to be grateful for during this time period, a lot of wish fulfillment here. And then there's this total opposite energy of kind of keeping your distance from someone, you know, not trusting, not communicating, you know, kind of closed off energy, okay? And because I think that, like I said, you're kind of observing or taking a step back from your relationship dynamics and deciding, okay, this is worth my time, this is not worth my time. And it's really clear here, you know, that that is exactly what you're doing. So yeah, I feel like you will be distancing yourself from those that you don't feel are in your highest good during this time frame. And it might be a really difficult decision to do that, Gemini, but I feel like the only way to place yourself into this self-love vibe, to open up the doors of opportunity here, is to do that, you know, during this time period. So it's all about relationships. It's all and relationships in any realm of your life. For some of you, this will be an intimate relationship. For some of you, this is like within the career or family, friend circle, you name it. Some of you, it's all of the above. You're kind of taking note, like taking check of each area and each person, and like, okay, I'm gonna put my energy here, and for you, not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're too difficult. And I just feel like you just won't give any attention to it, any energy to it at all. You won't go back and forth with this situation, this person. You won't provide reasoning. You won't give conflict. You're going to kind of be like somewhat of an Aquarius vibe, where you just kind of detach, you know, and focus elsewhere. Whether that's self, career, or people who are giving back to you. So I like it, Gemini. It's a very self-empowerment type of vibe here. So that was your energy. If you're only interested in your energy, then that's where the reading ends. If you're dealing with a specific person and you would like to know what's going on with them, what are they thinking, feeling, then this is where the reading continues. So person Gemini is dealing with. So this person's energy is that of the 7 of Pentacles, Gemini. This person is, you know, they're willing to put the time and the work in. They're trying to be patient. They may have put a lot of their energy into themselves, into their career, or this dynamic, this relationship, okay? And I feel like they're a little disappointed right now, and maybe having to wait to see the fruition. Or it's just like this energy of like, okay, you know, I'm trying to put all of myself into this, and I'm waiting, and I'm trying to be patient here, but I want movement forward. So the 8 of Wands also came out, talks about patiently waiting to communicate or move forward, quite simply, okay? So I feel like this person's kind of in this waiting period. For some of you, if you're like not talking to this person, they're waiting for you to communicate to them. For others of you, they could be waiting for communication about the job, career, you know, any realm of their life, or just waiting to move the energy forward. What's really interesting is they're also in the hermit energy. So it's a little bit of like a tucked away type of vibe, a little bit of keeping to self, a little bit of soul searching going on here, trying to find the answers, you know. I think this person's kind of like in a state of limbo almost. It's really interesting energy. I don't feel like this person's in this. It's interesting because I always get tripped over my words when I do Gemini's reading. Like my words are trying to come out like 300 miles a minute every time I do Gemini's reading. What I was saying is, it's interesting that this person wants movement forward or communication, but they're not in the energy of willing to give. Now, let's look back at Gemini's energy. You are an energy of, if you're not willing to give to me, I'm not going to do anything. This person's over here, not willing to give, and is waiting for you. Or waiting for things to happen around them if it isn't you. So it's like, it's just an interesting contrast here. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel with the Emperor energy here and the Five of Cups, this person is likely someone who's very stuck in their ways. You know, they like to be in control of situations. Also, too, I feel like this person is, you know, I want to say getting wiser. I have no idea why. Like wisening up or something. I don't know. It's like internally they are wanting movement forward or communication, a little bit disappointed. It's like this waiting energy, kind of like searching for answers. On the surface, they seem very, you know, domineering, in control of self type of vibe. Like, this is someone who's like, you're not going to shake me. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't want you to see that. But internally, they have the Five of Cups, which is focused on what they don't have instead of what they have. Being disappointed. I kept getting that word, disappointed. I think you have a very strong connection with this person, Two of Cups. Soulmate type of energy, an equal exchange. I feel this person does want an equal shake. An equal shake. That's what came to mind. But they're also somewhat stuck in their head during this time period. Lots of distractions going on in this person's energy. I think that they're trying to focus on that of which they control. So for some of you, like, they may be really putting themselves into their career or work or hobbies, the day-to-day activities, to give you some examples. You know, kind of restricting themselves. And I saw that earlier. I feel like this person holds back a lot. You know, some have regrets here. Others, it's like they're trying to get out of this negative mindset. And it's like, I feel like this person is really searching deep this upcoming time period. Really interesting energy, like soul searching vibes. And so let's go back to your energy, Gemini. You are in the Six of Pentacles, equal give and take. This person's in the Seven. They feel like they've already given enough. That's why they're not, I feel, opening up during this time period. Because I feel like this person feels, I've already put the work in. And so now I'm waiting to see things move forward. Like, that's where that not wanting to budge energy is coming from. You are in the Fool energy, World card, Ace of Pentacles, wanting new opportunities. You know, being open to that. This person's energy is not open. It's very closed off. you know, and for some, they're purposely restricting themselves from you. You are in emotional fulfillment, being grateful for what you have and who you are. This person is focused on what they don't have at this moment. And so you end up distancing yourself, not being sure, uncertain. Underneath all of that, I think that this person feels a very strong connection here, you know, and they have a cooperative, working on it type of vibe, but it's blocked by their own stinking thinking, their own way of thinking, their self-restriction type of energy, not wanting to budge off of that. So it's interesting that your overall energy is the energy of relating, right? Because like you are in somewhat of an oppositional type of energy to whoever this person you're dealing with is. And so I guess during this time period, what is being looked at is to stand back and observe, you know, this dynamic here. Some of you will try to bring balance to it. Some of you are, you know, going to focus on self, which you can control, who you are. Yeah. Both closed off towards each other, though, during this time frame. Interesting energy here, Gemini. So I'm going to leave it there. Zodiac signs you might be dealing with during this time period. I have Aries, Virgo, Aries again, Leo, Sag, that's really all I'm seeing. Could be air, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Those are the predominant zodiac signs. But certainly it could be any zodiac sign. It's a general reading. So keep that in mind. Those could be placements in your chart, placements in this person's birth chart, and or just the energy surrounding the situation. Either way, I wish you the very best, Gemini. Hope everything goes well for you. Till next time, namaste.